Landscape. Wintertime in Old Bell Falls was always what you might call perfect. Blankets of pure white snow rolling over hill and dale, cloaking the evergreens, frosting the bare black branches, sparkling in the sun, glistening under the deep blue midnight sky. At the falls below ice-locked Abnack Pond, a crystal marvel. Frozen rainbows spread over the slick black rock, the deep current piercing through glass to plunge, deafening, into the bottomless pool no winter's cold could ever tame. Emerging, rushing on, a fluid ribbon slicing silver through the frozen meadows, carving slick around the knoll, sliding under the bridge at the foot of Birchwood Hill, and slipping onto the valleys below. All through the season, sleighs gliding swift to the rhythm of sleigh bells, horses blustering, frosting the air, sledders speeding down the hillsides, toboggans for the bold, skaters streaking the pond, don't go too near the falls, warming at bonfires along the bank. In the snug stone houses of the hillside farms, families gathered after evening chores, grateful for the harvest, for peace, settling in for the long cold season. Bathed in fragrance of hot cinnamon cider, apples fresh from the press, laced with the smells of baking bread, popping corn, mincemeat, hearty soup, they gathered close around the hearth to read from the good book, from Pilgrim's Progress and the works of Mr. Dickens. In the centre of town, neat painted houses glowed. Behind the frost-laced glass, in warm parlours, tea and cakes were served with grace, dinner spread on the crisp linen cloth, fine china framed with gleaming silver, succulence of goose, tang of steamed plum pudding, the latest tunes sung to the accompaniment of concertina, Sweet Adeline, in the evening by the moonlight, Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. At the close of evening a hymn, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our song of grateful praise. Amen. Thanksgiving, the season deepened into the most hallowed time of the year. Around the hillside hearths, families gathered to read of the Holy Babe. In the general store, oak barrels brimmed with holiday delights, bonbons, spices, sugar plums, walnuts, jellies, cranberries from Cape Cod, and spilling from the shelves festive cloth, fancy hats, beads and tinsel, toys of wood and tin. Upon the commons before the courthouse, the great blue spruce, magnificent in any season, was ringed with candles for Christmas Eve. High over the Whitewood Church on Birchwood Hill, the bells in the tower rang out peace, goodwill to men. Alone at his wall on Christmas Eve, Ephraim Howe heard the summons of the bells, O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. From the valley farms and the glowing streets of town, the folk of Old Bell Falls obeyed, O come, let us adore him, all streaming toward the church on Birchwood Hill. Alone in his heart, Ephraim watched them go, as if they moved in another world, where love and faith yet survived. Alone under the distant stars, lit by the silent white cold moon, he watched all the people he had ever known moving as one toward the church to warm themselves in the celebration of light. Numb, his bare hand resting upon cold stone, he watched, until down at the edge of the pond a shadow caught his eye, and out from the shadow, a streak, a flash in the moonlight, a solitary skater, silver blades carving an arc on the ice. Free, ivory cape spread like wings, she sailed, until, turning abruptly, she carved her stop, spraying a cold crystal dare. Swiftly he followed, her slim dark lover, reaching for her hand. But she was off, a night bird flying. "Catch me," she cried, her laughter flaunting her skill. Gliding, twirling, floating, she taunted him, and then, breaking from a figure eight, she soared once more, sailing too close to the falls. "Stop!" Their voices rang as one in the clear night air. Nathaniel's from the pond, Ephraim's from the wall. "Stop, Marguerite, come back!" How could she flirt with such danger? And as Nathaniel raced across the thinning ice toward her, Ephraim frantically ploughed through snow. The crack was the deep sound of doom, the end of the earth. It was Ephraim, always the stronger, who reached her first. Sliding in deep snow down the slope to the bank of the frigid stream, striking out into the treacherous current, swimming in ice. He seized her as she sank into the deep black pool beneath the pounding falls. While upon the bank, Nathaniel knelt, crazed and frozen, sobbing, as if he wished he too could go under and disappear into eternal night. It was Ephraim who pulled her out, carried her in his arms, broken, still, the cold, dark water streaming from the pale wool cape, streaming from the raven hair. The skate blades still bound to her feet, gleaming under the Christmas moon. It was Ephraim who laid her on the snowy bank, working in vain to warm her, until Nathaniel, gasping, thrust him aside, claimed his right to mourn her cold, wet face with kisses. For the first time since the church bells had been hoisted to the tower, they were silent on a Christmas day. The townsfolk abandoned their celebrations to move solemnly down Main Street to the merchant's house, to pass through the crepe-draped parlour where Marguerite Lapointe lay still as ivory in a fine oak box. Every citizen of Old Bell Falls passed through the parlour that day, except for two who mourned beyond reason. Ephraim Howe, standing fast, knee-deep in snow at the river's edge, keeping vigil over the falls, and Nathaniel Meade, feverish at work with pick and shovel, under a great bare elm in the snow-filled churchyard on Birchwood Hill. The new year rang in, and life resumed in Old Bell Falls. But on cold winter nights, when others' windows blazed with the comfort of light, two stone houses stood silent and dark on either side of Abnack Pond, divided by a cold stone wall, steadfast in bitter grief. By planting time, Nathaniel was gone, no warning, no farewells, all abandoned to the works of his hands and heart, and everyone he had ever known. Dogged, Ephraim remained, working on the wall, pausing only from time to tend an elm-shaded grave, until at last the wall reached the edge of the pond, and Ephraim's work must cease.